And it depends as well the size of the project, I'd say. Also, you might have a huge project with, 100 lots, 200 lots, or whatever, you've got 50 plus.
Mm.
Um, I'd say having a few agents isn't a bad thing because they're not really competing as much.
Mm.
But if it's a smaller project, I'd say choose a good agent, but be you know be firm as to their results as well. Like, you got to make sure that they're
Which is what Sunil said here. Targeted results. He's just
yeah,
come
yeah,
in,
yeah,
so he's taken the words out of your mouth,
yeah.
Cheryl. Which is
Oh, there we go. We're on the same page. So now,
yeah. Well, the other thing to consider, right, is that you could always maybe again the size of your project, you may give them one each, and you
mm,
might say to them, whoever has the best success, then you get the rest.
mm,
So you could do that. Like there's so many. There's not a one size fits all with this sort of stuff. It's like just you're going to test and learn, and
yeah,
sometimes you go exclusive and it's a disaster. I've had exclusive arrangements and it's been disastrous,
mm,
and I've had open arrangements and it's been phenomenal. So it's just there's no one size that fits all, but generally speaking, it would be better to go exclusive early on to have someone really dedicated for you. And as Sunil says, have a short period with very targeted results. Again, get incredibly clear as to what are the things that you're looking for. Ultimately, it's sales, right? But get incredibly clear with the expectations.
yeah. And even with that, I mean, when you're doing the interview as well, one of the things I've realized to ask the agent is, are they selling a product that is in competition with yours as well? I think that's an interesting one, and put it across to them. If they are, you know, l- ask them the questions around how do they handle that, like in a
Mm.
situation, I
Yeah,
mean,
correct.
are they going to push your product? Are they going to push the other product?
Mm. Mm.
Um, and so that's another interesting one that you
Oh, I
might
think
put
it's a
across
great,
to them.
great, a great consideration as well. So again, there's so many of these things, right? But see, here's the thing with all this. This whole idea of tonight was about people just aren't even speaking to agents. So if you're not even speaking to an agent, you're
Hmm,
not even going to get to experience any of this stuff, right? So it's
hmm.
about you've got to speak to the agents. You've got to change your meaning about the agents. They're in the majority. They're good people doing their job, and their job is to achieve the highest price for the vendor. And make no bones about it, that's what they do. But you have to speak to them, and you have to understand why it's important to speak to them and how they can facilitate and assist you in the journey of achieving your goal. And I'd like to think that all of the people here on the Property Development Australia Facebook page have a goal of at least achieving one property development project. I know many here have huge goals, right? But you're going to need an agent. You're going to need an agent in your corner, and you're going to have to start building the relationship. And the only way you start building the relationship is by saying hello, is
Yeah,
by saying hello and putting yourself out there and accepting that it's going to be incredibly uncomfortable and incredibly yucky, and that's okay because
but
that's where you
that's
start.
only the start. It's only at the beginning where you feel that it is a little bit sort of uncomfortable and you're getting used to the whole thing. And then once it becomes all natural, then it's all natural.
It's all absolutely, it's all natural. And the other thing is that people are fearful because they might get asked a question that they haven't got the answer to.
Mm.
I get asked questions that I haven't got the answer to all the time. So my response is, I don't have the answer, but I'll come back to you within a certain time frame. So it might be by close of business. People respect that. Don't BS your way through it because people will smell a rat a mile away, right? But if you don't have the answer, you don't have the answer. If you don't know, you don't know. Okay. And if
Mm.
you're starting out, the chances are you're not going to know. But when
Yes.
you say, look, I don't have the answer right at the moment. I don't have the answer with me. I don't have that information with me, but I'll send it through to you by the end of today. Terrific.
Perfect. Perfect. Amir says, makes sense. Thanks, Tony
Hey,
and Cheryl.
that's okay. Thank you, Amir. I'm glad we were able to help you. Sunil said agents will give you the insight to the suburb. 100%. 100%. They're on the ground. We've touched on that a few times. They're on the ground. They're locals. That's what they do. You can't possibly know every single thing that's going on in the suburbs. They're going to bring you those deals, the off-market deals, the pre-market deals. Remember, if it gets to realestate.com, generally speaking, too late. Not saying that it doesn't happen. It does happen, right? So please don't misconstrue what I'm saying. But I'm saying, generally speaking, the best deals are those that are found off and pre-market. And it's about
Mm.
how do I get those deals? What are the things that I can do to get them?
Oh, look here. I think you've
Oh, there you
had
go.
some fantastic points that we've raised here.
Mm,
Um, anyone that wants to grab a copy of this book,
mm,
um, Tony's popped the link to it.
yes.
But if you actually want to not just be able to implement what's here, but take further action,
Mm.
you happen to have a property action coaching program as well.
I do. I do.
How apt.
100%, right? So look, it's all, if you're wanting someone to teach you how to develop, then it's not me, right? And I'm happy to introduce you to an amazing program that teaches you how to develop. If you're wanting to learn how to renovate, it's not me. If you're wanting to learn how to do rooming accommodation, it's not me. But if you're wanting to learn how to take phenomenal action and be successful in whatever it is that you're trying to achieve within property and wanting to create a phenomenal property business, then it is 100% me. And so
Mm,
that's what I do. I help people take action because ultimately I believe that you can have the skills, you can have the knowledge, but the biggest reason that people don't succeed is because of this thing. It's because of the inability to consistently take action. And so that's what the program's all about. So we're starting to put more and more people in there, which is pretty cool. So I'm delighted with how it all started. We started off small, but we're starting to build that out, which is great. And also plenty of people have, if you just want to download this book and read the book, I mean, if you want to work with me, awesome, I'm here and that's what I do. But if you just want to read the book, then please feel free to read the book. There's plenty of great stuff in there. It's like 30 pages long. And so it's not just I've downloaded a few of these ebooks and they're a page or two and it's a bit of rubbish. And obviously I'm saying this yes, I wrote it, so take what I say with a grain of salt, but it's 30 odd pages of gold and actionable
gold.
things that you can put into place to help you in your quest to build relationship with agents and to really help you. Look at it all this stuff. And my amazing team. So I wrote it, so the wording is me with the contribution of a few others, and Cheryl helped me, and Sunil, who's here, helped me, and Davina and Steve Brennan, Davina Wong and Steve Brennan. So I had some great people, knowledgeable, who helped me with some bits and pieces in here. But my team were able to pull this together and have it looking as sharp as it does. They are what helps me look as good as I do publicly. So I'm forever grateful for what they do. But look, there's so much stuff in there, and it
Oh my
it
goodness.
really is. If you want to just use that book only and follow the steps in the book, you can have phenomenal success. But if you read the book and you're struggling to take action, then please reach out to me, and I would be more than happy to have a chat to you about what it is that we're doing and how we're doing it. And again, we've got some students in there already, and they're starting to have some phenomenal success. And we're getting them to take action. And I'm so proud already at how much their improvement they're having in such a short space of time. We only kicked this thing off a month ago, and already they're starting to have some success moving forward.
That's fantastic,
Mm,
Tony. Sorry,
mm.
I've been scrolling and there's so much in here.
Yeah, correct.
I know I've seen it before and I've gone through it, but
Mm,
just to go through and I mean,
mm.
at first it looks fantastic as well.
Thank you. Thank you.
Compliments your eyes, Tony. The blue. It really stands out and it's a really easy read,
Mm.
and like I said, a lot of gold in there as well. So we've got the link for the book. If anyone's keen to find out more about the property action coaching, and sorry, I'm zooming past.
Oh, we'll get that link. So that's okay. No,
Is
no,
there a link there
No,
too?
I'll give you this link, Cheryl. So just bear with me a moment. So we'll put
Oh, good.
this link in here for your members. So just bear with me. Okie dokie.
And how is the delivery of the coaching program? Is it
Yeah,
over
cool. Yep,
weeks,
yep.
months?
6
Years?
months to know. So well, look, it's a 6 month minimum, right? And so I've already had a few of them say, "Oh, Tony, what happens at the end of the 6 months?" Well, the reality is, I don't want you to go, but also it's a case of a minimum of 6 months, and I call it integrated coaching. And so integrated coaching for me is that you get some time with me directly, you get a lot of group coaching. We do fortnightly group coachings, but you also get a lot of online learning, and you get downloadable worksheets. You do some stuff at your own pace. There's Facebook as well. I dive into Facebook and do different lives. Typically, as I'm doing a bit of exercise around the streets, and I just have a thought, and so it helps me as I'm having a walk just to convey to my community just whatever it is, whether it be something about procrastination, or at the start of the week, getting yourself planned for the week ahead, doing a recap on what happened last week. My two favorite coaching questions, which is what went well, what can I do differently. There's so many different things that I will do, but it's an integrated program where you're getting a nice dose or taste of a variety of different concepts, because I know that works best. Firstly, the one-on-one coaching stuff is awesome, but one-on-one coaching with me directly is incredibly expensive, and so it's about having a blend of that. But also then having the group coaching. And the thing I love about group coaching is we have small groups. It's not hundreds of people in a
Mm,
room. There's small groups, and we give people ample time to go through things. And and someone's having some success and someone isn't, and the whole group can lift each other up. I think that the saying is that a rising tide lifts all ships. And so through group coaching, I love it, because it's not just me rabbiting on for an hour and a half. It's also then listening to some of the experiences of the students. And what happens when the students have some success, or one student has success, is I call it the Roger Bannister effect. And for those who don't know, Roger Bannister was the man who broke the 4-minute mile back in 1954 or 56. And that was amazing, right? And that was an amazing feat. But that's not the point to my story. The point of my story is that a month after he broke the 4-minute mile, and a feat that no one thought could be done, and he broke it a month after an Aussie, John Landy, broke it. And then a year after he broke the 4-minute mile, the first three place getters in a mile race all broke the 4-minute mile. The point that I'm making is that when you see someone else who's close to you have success, your
mm,
belief now goes through the roof, because you think to yourself, if they can do it, why not me?
yeah.
Why can't I do that? And it happens all the time. And so that's one of the great things about group coaching. And then, as I said, there's Facebook Lives and online learning and all sorts of fun.
Yeah, I realized I've missed a few little uh, comments here in the Zoom chat.
Sure.
So Sean's mentioned, with discussion we had today with the agent, he's offered a pretty good bulk rate sales comp for doing multiple if we offer him 10 or more to sell at a time. That's fabulous. Just having those conversations, and all of a sudden you've got a discount. you know, just little things like that. That obviously you've been able to create that level of connection already from the start, Sean, which is exactly what you said, Tony, about
But
the
it's about the relationship. It's about three words: know, like, and trust. And it's about, and also, ask the question. Ask those sorts of questions. And now that you've come across an agent who's happy to do that, maybe in future dealings you can ask agents if they'll do bulk deals as well. Why the hell not? Everything's a negotiation, right? What's the worst thing can happen? I tell you, no, we don't. Okay, no problems. I'm clear, right? But I always ask the question.
yeah, absolutely. And Arun says, how come you haven't talked about buyer's agents?
So, because the whole thing with the buyer, I tell you, Arun, you want to know how difficult dealing with a buyer's agent is? I'll show you. Hello, buyer's agent. Hello, buyer's agent. I want to have this property, right? So, and I'm not being. I've got some of my very closest, dearest friends are buyer's agents, and I'm not wanting to be disrespectful to what they do, because they do a phenomenal job.
Mm,
But my point is that you say to a buyer's agent, "I'm looking for this type of property," and the buyer's agent goes and does their thing, right?
mm,
This is not aimed at buyer's agents. Gosh, if a buyer's agent needs to be reading my book, then there's I'm a bit concerned, right? So the point is that it's about people dealing with the agents, right? Dealing with the agents and having those conversations with the agents. Buyers agents should be well versed in this stuff. They should be. Maybe they're not, but they should be well versed in this stuff. And if they're not, cool. I'm happy to have a chat about. I've got a couple of buyers agents who are clients of mine as well, right? And again, I'm not being disrespectful of buyers agents, but having a chat with a buyer's agent, I personally is relatively easy. because it's like, hey, this is what I'm looking for. Please go and find it.
Yeah, and to a certain extent, you're almost delegating that task of talking to the agents to the buyer's agent.
Exactly, because maybe I do. I've got one lady who's worked with me previously,
I meant
and
using
she
them.
she
Okay.
truly does have fear of dealing with. It's almost like a phobia of dealing with agents, and she uses a buyer's agent, and that's fine. That's okay. Look, buyer's agents play a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful role, and buyer's agents, again, a good buyer's agent, they too should be on the ground as much as the selling agent, and they too should know the off-market, pre-market opportunities, right? So yeah, that's the whole idea with buyers agents. Arun said, yeah, I meant using them. Yeah, look, again, I'm not trying to be disrespectful to buyers agents, but I truly think it's as simple as googling them up and calling them and having a chat and saying, here's what I'm looking for, please can you go and find it. I don't think that's an overly difficult task. Probably the difficult bit is the clarity on what you're looking for.
Mm,
That's probably the difficult bit, and I see this with goal setting as well. It's the getting clear on what you want. Well, I want a property. Well, that's about that wide, right? And so it's like, what are you looking for? What are your objectives? What are you? So it's about, before you spend time with a buyer's agent, or maybe a buyer's agent could give you a little sheet of questions themselves that helps you solidify what it is that you're looking for.
yeah,
Hopefully,
absolutely.
I answered that for you, Arun. And as I said, a lot of my close friends, and I've got some clients who are buyers agents as well. They do a
Mm.
wonderful job. It's a wonderful
Oh,
service.
absolutely. And there's some real fantastic buyers agents in the community as well. So if
Mm,
anyone's
mm,
looking for buyers
mm,
agents,
mm.
and often that they save you a whole lot of time. They could save you a whole lot of money as well. Because if you don't have the ability to call agents for whatever reason, depending on what your situation is, whatever, leverage the expertise and the time of a buyer's agent.
This stuff that I'm teaching people, it takes time. It's patience, hare and tortoise, right? It takes time and it's patience. And it can happen, and it can absolutely happen. And it can happen that you have deals literally flowing to you. It's called the attraction sales model, but it takes
Mm,
time.
mm,
If you are impatient and you want to find something quickly, call a buyer's agent up. You'll pay for it. It'll cost you 2% plus GST or 2.5%. They're about there, that rate somewhere. It'll cost you, but it's a cost of doing the project. And so you just factor that in as just another line item. And if
mm.
you're okay to pay, 20, 30 grand, whatever it might be based on the price of the property, well, that's cool. It's just a cost of doing business.
Yep, excellent. Tony, another fabulous session with you. Thank you very, very much. A lot of insight as always.
Thank you.
I found that helpful. I'm sure there are a lot of people here that have at least have a copy of your book now. Definitely worth a read. Some great questions there that you can use. Like I said, they're practical. You can literally sit there in front of your phone on your desk, fill out the questions.
I wrote it for the me that was starting out. That was the
Mm,
whole idea. It's like what would have helped me, and I had my own list of questions back then. But they weren't those questions. They were not as comprehensive as those. I've learned a lot of these as I've had more and more experience. So, but they were pretty basic questions. But that's what I did. And then the next step was, which is for a whole nother time, which is the capturing of the information. It's
mm,
hey, I've got the sheet here to write down my conversation. The next step is to create the CRM, the customer relationship manager, or the database to capture this information, and then to capture, what was said, how frequently I'm going to speak to the agents. For me, and again, my day job, my business, is as a business coach, and property is a business. And my objective when I speak to property people is to get people, firstly, to take action, but other than that, is to get them to look at this as a business, right? And you have you have businesses, Cheryl, and you have your business, the Growth Hub,
mm,
or
mm.
previously known as YPVA, your property VA. But it's about treating property like a business, the efficiency, the systems, the processes. What are the things that you can do? How do you ensure that you have deal finding as a repeatable process that just ensures the deals flow to you? That's the
Yeah.
secret. and more than happy to come back another time to talk about that's what's not a secret. It's just, but here's the thing with all this. People just don't do it. What I talk about, it's pretty simple stuff. I'm a pretty simple bloke, but people just don't do it. For whatever reason, life gets in the way, becomes too hard, and those who stick with it, they'll be phenomenally successful.
Yeah. Great session, Sunil says. Thank you for tuning in, Dean. Heaps of gold as always. Kind of very helpful for starters. Absolutely. Thank you so much, Tony. Always love having you on board.
Thank you.
Good luck for Friday. I can't wait to see the video.
Well, it's
I hope.
actually
Does it have a close up? Does it have a close up of your cheeks, sort of doing the thing?
I probably will. I'm not sure what'll happen. So I've
I
got
hope
a
so.
couple of my close mates there, Rob and Luke. They'll be there filming me, so it'll be interesting. So it'll be about 4:30 on Friday afternoon Eastern time. If you're looking for
Nice.
some light
From
entertainment,
live action.
can I just give a plug to one of my good mates, Luke Moroney. So Luke this Sunday is running his 1,000th day of 7 kilometres. 1,000 days in succession. And Luke, I'm not sure if he's on tonight, and that's cool. But if you're in Brisbane and you're around the Kangaroo Point area on Sunday morning, we're going to be doing a run for Luke about 7 o'clock. And then we're going to be going into our Sunday mindset session. So it's a live that Luke and I have done for the last 65 Sundays in a row. And so if you're around Brisbane, Sunday morning, we'd love for you to come and say hello and cheer Luke on, which is truly a phenomenal result that he's been able to run for 7K a day for 1,000 days. It's just mind blowing.
It's amazing. Are you going to be joining him for the run as well?
Yeah, I am. So I won't be going
Good
at the same
stuff.
pace as him, and mine will be more likely. Well, it's a bit tortoise and hare, right? I've used
Tortoise and
tortoise and hare a little bit tonight, so it'll be a bit of a waddle for me, but that's okay. I'll be out there, and look, there's a whole range of people that are going to come along, and so yes, if you're in the Brisbane area, you want to come and say hello to me. If you want to come say hello to Luke, we're going to be down at the Kangaroo Point Park on Sunday morning. We're going to kick off about 7, I think it is. If you're going to walk, get there a bit early, about 6:30, and then at 8 o'clock we'll do our regular Sunday mindset session, which we do every Sunday, and then we'll stick around for a coffee and whatnot, all socially distanced, all doing all those sorts of things. So please don't scream at me. We're going to do all the, all that sort of stuff. But no, look, just really a celebration for, what quite
an
simply
amazing effort.
Oh, phenomenal, Cheryl. And can I just share one thing too? I just on this. So I often have asked Luke over the last, we've done the Sunday sessions for 65 Sundays in a row, and I say to him, how many times have you felt like doing the 7K run? And the honest answer, he says, about 10% of times. And so for me, what that says is that, so here's a guy who's going to be doing 1,000 runs. And so for 900 of those runs, he actually hasn't felt like it. And there's a lot in that, the psychology of that, because how often does that happen in our life with our property journey, with whatever it might be? It's like we don't feel like it. And because we don't feel like it, we listen to our feelings and we don't do it. As opposed to, here's a guy who didn't feel like it. It was cold, it was wet, it was tired, whatever it might be, but yet he did it. And he did it. And the way that he did it, he shared very many times, is he focuses on the feeling at the end of the run. So he doesn't focus on the fact that right now I'm cold or I'm tired or, it's raining or whatever. He focuses on at the end of that 7K, the feeling of euphoria that I get is amazing. And he just fixates on that. And that's been his secret to be able to do it 1,000 days in a row.
That's great. Because like you said, there's a little message in that, because we often talk about how you visualize yourself. If you want to manifest something to happen, you got to visualize yourself actually making it happen, it coming together. And you've got a great story to share about that. But I will say we've got to wrap that up today.
Thank you. I could keep going. I could still be here at midnight, to be honest.
You could, and we could find more things to talk about.
That's fine. Thank you, Cheryl.
We definitely want to keep that for the next session, because we'll always have reasons to have you back again.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Thank you, everyone. Really appreciate it. Been a real thrill. Thank you.
Keep well, everyone. Stay safe. Be well. Bye-bye.
See you, Cheryl. Bye. Thanks. Bye, everyone.